Technology, right?
Technology.
Hell of a thing. All right, folks. Welcome to episode 11.
Is it? Okay.
Yes,
11,
episode 11 of the Formula Hooligan podcast. Hey.
Hey-o, trademark. Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be mostly talking about Formula One, so it works. But, yeah, we just finished watching the Mexican Grand Prix about a half hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the consensus is there was a lot of potential for really good stuff to happen. However, mostly a letdown as far as the action went. You know what I mean? You got the leader, Max Verstappen, wins the race by 20 seconds. You have maybe Perez is actually going to catch up and do something about Hamilton, but never actually does. In both instances, both the beginning and the end of the race, where he was within a 2 to 1 second gap. And, I mean, the results are not bad. I personally love it, being a Verstappen fan, to see Verstappen win the race. I wish Perez had done something about Hamilton, but I think in his own words, he said, like, it was impossible. Like, it was just never going to happen. And, yeah, I don't know. You know, I was screaming during the race that maybe if they had pit Perez at about the same time as Hamilton, maybe they would have just worked the gap to actually get Perez.
Seemed like that would have been the move, yep.
But who knows? It's all in hindsight at this point,
Right.
So...
I mean, I fell asleep lap 37, I think. So, yeah, that says it all. It was a bit of a parade. The end was good. The beginning was good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
First lap was pretty impressive. Max had the advantage starting in position 3, no doubt about it.
He did, absolutely. And he called it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday in qualifying, he was saying, we only qualified third, but third is better than qualifying second here. And he was right. He used that toe immediately and got right out in front of Valtteri and Hamilton. But the impressive part was, like, he shot right down the outside.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to blow the corner. I really did. I thought he was just going to go wicked outside, blow it, and then there'd be, like, bullshit happening in the grass. But it never happened. He actually stuck it on track. The only bullshit that happened was not Lando, it was Ricardo. Tapped Valtteri there.
Well, Valtteri found himself in a bit of a sandwich anyway. He was in no man's land. I feel like turn 1 when you're on the inside like that and he's just being overly cautious.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're waiting for it.
You're in the worst position.
But I forget who said it. I mean, he kind of got what was coming to him. It was a little bit of karma.
Yeah.
Because Valtteri punted Sergio, remember?
Was it Sergio? Yeah, I think it was Sergio.
Where was that? Russia, right? Didn't he? Remember that?
Yeah.
Very beginning of that race.
It wasn't Russia. It was Hungary.
Hungary, okay.
Yeah, Hungary is where Valtteri got all out of whack there.
Mm.
Yeah, poor Valtteri. He was running so well.
Yeah.
Imagine though what would have happened in the whole race though if Valtteri didn't get taken out. It would have changed the whole dynamics. If he could have stayed out in front, it would have been interesting to see if Max could have got by him.
Yeah, you think?
I don't know. We didn't see any real overtakes this race. There was nothing.
Did Bottas have the pace same as Max? I don't think so. I think Max would have gotten...
Max was definitely stronger.
Yeah, he was a lot stronger.
Still, Valtteri was on pole for a reason, right?
He will probably have a second or third place. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, people who are just listening have no idea who this third voice is. Welcome back to the podcast, Ismar Hernandez.
Oh, I thought it was Ayrton Senna.
No.
Wait.
My hat is Senna.
And happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we have him here for.
Yeah, thank you.
We had him over at Charles's place to watch the race. Figured why not just join the podcast that we were planning on doing afterwards anyway. So
that's right.
Why not, right?
Yeah. So
thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome.
I think that should be a prerequisite from now on. Whoever the guest that comes over to watch the race has to do a podcast after, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Rich
should do that, yeah.
Rob, fly back, drive, do whatever.
Well, I told you earlier that, like I was saying, I'm in a band, and the kid who plays guitar with us, he is starting to get into F1. And so he wants to watch an F1 race with F1 people because he's clueless regardless. So, or clueless otherwise, I should say. So I did think, like, if he ever came over to watch a race with us, to have a newbie's perspective on Formula One for the podcast would be pretty awesome.
That would be great.
Actually.
That would be cool.
You know, it'd be cool for one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Get some pink hatters.
There you go.
You know?
So what?
Do they make a Formula One pink hat, Someone that's new? I feel like it should be mandatory you have to wear a pink hat for the first year.
Oh, I see.
That's
I see what you mean.
Not your real fan.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't mean pink like Racing Point pink. I mean like pink.
I got you.
I see.
Ismar, if you want to get like a little closer with the mic to your mouth. Perfect. Excellent. Are there any other real talking points with this race? It was kind of like...
It was pretty straightforward, I think. After, lap 2 maybe?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was straightforward, but the whole time it was like, maybe something excellent will happen, and it never did.
Yeah.
So
it's races like this where you can't wait till next season.
Really?
Pretty much. Yeah, when they change the rules and the car and everything.
No, for me it's different this year just because this year's been crazy. Just the whole year has been nuts.
Yeah, it's been nuts.
And you cannot, like, today's predictable race was an outlier. Usually the races are so unpredictable and like, what the frig's going to happen? And usually the lead is within 5 seconds at least. Today was your usual normal boring F1 race. But to be honest with you, we haven't had many of those in 2021.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's true, but I think Max has run away with this one. Mm-hmm. Seems that way.
No, you can't even say that, dude. It's only.
I'm rooting for Lewis.
I think after today, it's only an 18 or 19 point gap. You understand that if Max crashes and Hamilton wins, Hamilton all of a sudden has a championship.
Or if someone
lead.
crashes in him, yeah.
Whatever.
And there's 4 races left? Still 3?
4 races, I think.
4. Yep. You have one in Brazil and then the three Middle East races.
Too many. I'm sure if you're Max, you'd like the season to end right now.
Well, of course. Yeah. You're the leader. That's the case with anything. Even when you're in a race and you're leading the race, you're just like, come on, let's do last lap now.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, like let's talk NHKA for a sec. Like it's like when you are up front, you're like, you want this 15 lap race to end, but then if you're in the back, it's like, I want another 15.
Right. Exactly.
It's never enough.
Right. You want more laps in the back. You want less laps. From
exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we never did talk about the end of the NHK season, did we?
No. Well, it hadn't happened when we last had a podcast. So yeah. No. Since we had our last episode, the NHKA 2021 season has ended and is now behind us. If I were to summarize my year, I would say it was pretty fantastic. So for people who might not know, this was only my first year in a 2-stroke class. I'd done World Formula for 4 years prior and had plenty of success and decided I needed to move up to 2-stroke to challenge myself again. I didn't expect to be anywhere near the pointy end of the field at all. And immediately from the first race, I had a podium and I kept it going. I ended up winning Kart Mania. And then I had a lackluster second half of the season. After Kart Mania, I think I only had one more podium and then did like a series of 4th place finishes. But I actually locked down 3rd place in the championship for the year. First year in the 2-strokes.
Well, congrats. Nice. I always believe in you,
I'll
Alex.
take
Solid
it.
podium, yeah. I was rooting for you.
I'll take it. I mean, my only example I had to go along before this year was the one time I took Christian Abate's cart around X1 Outdoors and did a race out there and ran at the back of the pack.
I thought you were going to die that day.
Yeah. It was a botched. It was a botched qualifying because I went out on wet tires when the track was drying, so it was just bad. And then my physical strength was not enough to actually stay strong enough to race the cart at full speed. I remember that day, dude, and being so disappointed. The last 5 laps, I was going into corners slower than need be just because I didn't want it to hurt anymore. That's actually how my arms
now was that was the high bank turn setup, right?
All of it though.
Yeah.
The high bank corner is the most intense corner because it's high G's, you're pressed down and it's like it's your neck for the most part and your arms somewhat, but like your neck is trying to stay like this like you are with the rest of the track. And it was bad. So I really thought I would have more examples of that this year, and I didn't have too many.
You adapted pretty quick.
I adapted pretty good, and I'll take it.
Yeah.
3rd place for the year. I'll get some kind of trophy, I'm assuming, at the end of the year. Yeah. So running along with guys like Ricardo Nunes and Mark Donato to have done as well as I did, no complaints. Really, no complaints.
You have a good challenge ahead.
Yeah. So the next challenge is to try to take some championships, which we'll see what I can do. I did it in the 4-stroke stuff. Yeah. So,
do you expect any new competitors next year from World Formula, perhaps?
From World
Formula,
like
maybe Christian moving back up there or something like that.
I don't know. I think Christian. At the last race, I was talking to him and his father, and I think they are thinking about trying to do something with 2-stroke next year on top of doing the World Formula thing.
Wow. All right.
Well, that's the only way you get any track time.
Yeah, that's very
true.
We
were just talking about that with double. Rich. Yeah, you got to double it up. I mean, otherwise you spend a weekend and you get about 30 minutes on track total, something like that.
It's more
maybe 35, maybe
40.
It's not a lot.
Something like that. Dude, considering the I'm friends with the Dennises. Considering the amount of track time that we get versus what they pay for their minuscule amount of track time, we do all right. We do pretty all right. Now, in some other parts of the country, entry fees are shorter or entry fees are lower. Like Charlie Roberts and his son Will. They're in New Jersey right now. They're probably on their way back. They're in New Jersey right now racing at New Jersey Motorsports Park. They had a whole day of practice yesterday, and they had a race today. The entry fee for yesterday was $65, and so was it on Sunday. But the advantage they have down there is that they have a purpose-built go-kart track owned by the club that they can race at. We, unfortunately, and it's really nobody's fault except for RJ Valentine. Right. It's, in my opinion, it's really nobody's fault that we don't have that anymore. So we're at the mercy of having to pay and rent from the other tracks to get track time.
But it sucks. I'd almost like practicing to be on a separate day, and then just you show up and you qualify and you race.
Yeah,
or something. But
yeah, I was talking to Charlie about
the sprint race. That's what made Kartmania so fun.
The double day.
Yeah, and it was just a lot more. Yeah. And I think the other double day, remember, I wasn't able to make both of them. That was unfortunate, but the double day stuff was fun.
Yeah, you only made...
There was another double day. Actually, it was right after Kartmania.
Yeah, it was. There was another double day, I think, in August.
But the double day thing was not... I get it, though. You can't do it every time. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's... I don't know how else to change it up.
Like I said, we're at the mercy of the schedule of the tracks.
Well, and then also it keeps growing. We have so many karts now.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. I'm trying to remember, like, the last week to even just commentate about it. And it was so far away from today at this point. I think it was like beginning of October. That was the last race. Were you there or did you miss it?
No, I went. I just didn't have much to do out there. I was retired lap 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me.
Not lap 1.
He was lap 1.
No.
All right, lap 2. Actually, I retired myself.
Right. No. You made it like halfway.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Second lap, buddy. No, trust me.
No.
I'm dead serious. It was, yeah.
All right, regardless, you did pull yourself out.
I did
early.
because the cart was damaged and I was going to hurt someone. I was, and I pulled myself off to spare somebody who I don't even know their names, so it doesn't really matter. But if I get taken out again like that, I'm going to install some type of James Bond-like device where I throw out some sharp objects on the track. I don't know. Maybe just a banana peel.
Yeah, exactly.
PG-13.
Mario Kart.
You know Mike Kamara listens to these,
yeah,
right?
I know, but he already knows how I feel. We've already discussed all this, and they want to make changes and talk to Rich about it. They should do some changes to make it a little cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be more at stake than because some of these guys, you would think braking stuff would be enough of a deterrent, but it's not. It's crazy.
No.
Go out there and slam and bam and thank you, ma'am.
You're not thinking about that really when you're out there driving.
Oh.
Well, I do sometimes, but like when you're out there and you want to race and do well.
But hold on, there's a difference. So let me give an example. Like actually, the last race there, it was qualifying 1. I forget who it was up front. Just spun accidentally and caused a little bit of an accident. I think Dave got into it with whoever it was. It was totally unintentional. Shit like that happens. Fine. That's different. I'm talking about this bull crap of just slamming into people because you don't know where your brake is or to take your foot off the gas and all these other things. I mean, it's amazing to me that all these people have cameras in their carts and you can watch the race back and it's like, what are these people doing? The leaning on people. It's one thing bump drafting, but I'm talking like slamming into each other like it's just... I can't believe there's not more accidents. But lately, if you look at the second half, how many times that ambulance truck went out? It was almost every race. I mean, that's...
Really?
I paid attention to that. Yeah, it
wouldn't
was.
Say, really?
There was like 3 rollovers the last 3 races of the season. There was one at NHKA. I mean, New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
I think you're exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating. You just don't notice it because you're
you
too busy tinkering on your cart, and I'm just sitting there watching the distraction.
You have a good memory, Charlie.
Well, I do when it comes to that stuff.
To be fair, where you are the DR tent, you're right there next to the track, so you can probably see.
Okay.
I mean, knock on wood, luckily.
You being the special you, paying your money, you don't have to work on your car. So you just
I have you do it like last time, remember?
Yeah, I did have to work on your car.
Thank you, by the way. That was the last race.
Yeah, it was.
Which, by the way, I learned a lot from that, but that was amazing how quickly... I was like, Alex, I'm not getting full throttle.
No. You didn't even know you weren't getting full throttle.
Oh, then what did I tell you? But you
were just like down the streets. I got nothing. It just feels like garbage. And I'm like, are you getting full throttle? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then immediately.
So I checked it out, and you were not getting full throttle. So I fixed it.
That was like a 2-minute fix.
Yeah,
amazing.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Awesome. Because I went out there and I was running like.
Yeah.
It comes with experience, Charles.
Yeah,
because I've had the same problem.
Here's the problem: I'm so new to World Formula. Still, I was like, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I was like 5 seconds off the pace. I was like, seems a little.
It's not just
little
you.
peculiar.
It's the car.
At 5 seconds, it's not
It
just
was
you.
yeah, because then I went out. I qualified like 5th, but then that was because it's the fucking double qualifier. So the first remember we did 2 qualifiers. Well, in World Formula we did we had the qualifying. With time. Then we had the pre-final.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yep.
I hate that. I want one
like it?
qualifier and then a race. Longer race. And I think that's pretty much unanimous. I would say most people seem to want that.
Most people do. When I was talking to Charlie Roberts the other day, he was on his way way down to New Jersey. He is a fan of the pre-final. Really? I was like, really? And he's like, well, yeah, you get a chance to kind of correct some things.
True.
You also get a chance. It's another opportunity to play with setup and another opportunity to try some things before you go to the final race to give it your all. And I can see where he's coming from, but Charlie, I actually do agree with you. As you know, the club,
it's time constrained as it is too.
Right. So the club exploded this year, and because of it,
185 topped out at maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
It was something like 180,
185
entries was the most we had this year, and I think it happened twice at least. They had to. It was so popular, we had to cap the entry. You could only have so many people in each class. You had to get it in
early. You couldn't just wait until the last minute.
Right, yeah, because then you'd risk not being able to race at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mike, if you do listen to these, he did say at the drivers' meeting at the last race, we're planning on doing things different next year. And we'll take input from you guys and whatnot. So Mike, if you are listening, I'll just give you my personal input. I think one thing that would really help for next year is to get rid of the pre-final. I do believe that it's getting everybody to the grid and all that kind of stuff that takes up time, but it's also like the more sessions you have, it's the more opportunity it's the more individual opportunities for incidents to happen where people get stranded. So it's another time where the truck has to go out and go grab somebody. It's also, more opportunity for it's not more opportunity for a red flag to happen because you could have multiple red flags in one session.
True.
But
it's
like
typically only in the first lap of a session.
Right.
So it's more.
But let's say if there was the pre-final final and then one person breaks down to the pre-final and another person breaks down to the final, that's 2 times the truck has to go out. But if you had one long final and both guys broke down, it's only 1 time the truck has to go out. And
I agree, yeah.
It saves that little bit of time. And so when we did it for 2 races this year, where it was no pre-final, just an extended final. And I loved it. I thought it was a great move. And then we moved back to the traditional format with the last 3 races or whatever. I didn't really understand why, because I thought it was brilliant. So that is my personal recommendation. How
about you, Ish?
Someone who's been
pretty much like Alex.
So same way.
Same way.
Thing.
Yeah.
We're all same boat.
Yeah, that's. I thought that really helped to speed up the day. I remember ending the day kind of early. It would be 4:15, 4:30. All the cars or all the races be done. It'd be like, whoa, look at that. That's pretty neat. And as a driver, the long race is more satisfying to do anyway.
Absolutely,
it is.
You get in the zone, and you can just concentrate on your marks.
And a lot can change too. Exactly. Surprisingly,
sure, yeah.
It's not like the Formula One race where I feel like you can actually. I mean, we saw you run back from the back of the field several times this year, so it's definitely possible.
I pulled it off at not the Kart Mania race, but the August race where we did the full track again. So that's my personal thought on that, and I think that'd be cool for going for next year.
Now, Formula One completely different. They should do the sprint race for all of them.
Sprint races?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I love it with Formula One.
I kind of like this in Formula One. I kind of like the sprint. I do like sprint races, but I kind of like how it's special, every once in a while.
Aren't they doing it that way just to test it? There's the only
They
reason.
did 3 this year. They're planning on 7 next year.
Nice. Well, there's also going to be, isn't there 52 races next year or something crazy?
52?
23.
No, it's 20. Oh, 23?
52.
They won a week.
If they get all 23, I'm not even sure,
It's crazy, though. That's still...
it's a lot. So it's going to finish December, mid-December.
It already is finishing December this year, so it probably would be the same next year.
Crazy.
It's funny, though. Formula One is growing in popularity, just like NHKA.
Yeah, especially in America. You saw those crowds that happened in Texas.
Let's just hope it keeps growing. It'll be for the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the problems that NHKA is having with the expansion is a good problem to have. Same thing with Formula One. It's all good problems.
Now we just need an American driver in F1. That would be cool.
It almost happened.
It almost happened.
That's a
Yeah.
bunch
Blitz
of...
crowd fun, Mr. Gomes.
Yeah, there you go.
No, look at me. Do I look like an F1 driver?
Oh, have you seen Lando? Come on. There's power steering on those.
Better than-
Please.
There is power steering, yeah. There's no power steering in
Every one of
go-karts.
those guys has said it's easier driving a Formula One car than a car.
That's what I
When
heard
they say
too.
easier, I'm pretty sure they're just talking about.
So there was a bit of commentary about that a few years ago. I think it was Grosjean or Verstappen Grosjean got back in a kart and said like, "Oh, you know, I was really struggling physically and whatnot."
Yeah.
And then Verstappen commented on that, saying something like, "Well, it's just different muscles that you use in karting versus Formula One. It's still
that's fine.
Dude, can you imagine doing 5 Gs in a corner?
No. So that's my point. I would pass out probably,
Yeah,
and hit the wall. But I mean, I'm sure you can train. Like you see those guys. I mean, they train extensively. They might not look like they train.
They train
but
more
their
than their
legs
neck,
are
right?
stronger
No,
than they
yeah.
look. I mean, they weigh 135 pounds. I'm sure, but
Their neck weighs a lot more.
I don't know
than
if you
their
could weigh
shoulders.
100. I bet maybe Yuki Tsunoda weighs 135 pounds, being 5'2" or whatever he is. But
yeah, who's the biggest driver actually right now?
Russell.
Who do you think?
Russell's,
Russell?
Russell's
Yeah.
like 6'5".
He is tall. You're right.
Yeah.
He is
He's
tall.
He looks like Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Yeah. He's tall. Well, because I say Big Bird because he's always got like eyeliner on, like big eyelashes, almost like extensions.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
he
notice
does,
that?
dude. Yeah.
Oh my
The fuck,
god.
dude. Yeah.
Wow.
You're actually right. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I got-
does.
yeah.
Yeah, look at him again.
I
He's
will
always
look
got
into
like
it.
these.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know.
That's
Very
crazy.
strange. I love him, but
Yeah.
that's what he looks like. Sorry.
But he's a good driver.
He's very good.
Any
Let's find out.
any other commentary on the NHKA 2022 stuff?
Well, no. I mean,
No.
Safety rating? I mentioned that to Rich.
Safety rating?
Yeah.
How the hell would you?
I
track
don't
that?
know.
And what the hell would that
safety
even
rating,
mean?
huh?
I don't know.
It wouldn't mean shit.
I'm just talking out of my ass. No, any real recommendations? None that are feasible, other than the pre-final thing.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than that, there's not
There
a
is,
lot. I don't think there's a lot we could do.
There is another talking point.
Maybe pave
for
certain sections of of Loudon or whatever, New Hampshire.
Repave it?
Yeah.
Oh,
we,
really?
we all want that back
Yeah.
section.
Well,
to be
only so you
paved.
can be a little bit more aggressive in certain spots where you don't get the penalization of going off track is not a broken axle every time or something.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, but
It is going to be interesting next year, maybe 23, depending on when they decide to implement rules about it in the two-stroke classes. In the two-stroke class, tag, we run different motors. So, like,
Right.
I have a Rotax. Other
And
guys have
Rock,
AX30.
right?
There is the Rock that's out there. And there's been commentary from Mike in his emails talking about doing something about the parity of the motors for next year. I don't know what the plan is. It was also suggested maybe just doing one motor. I don't know which motor will be chosen. It'd be really interesting. Only because, let's say it's like all Rotax next year. They have nothing else to...
Well, what happens though with you guys have been doing it a while with the rules change though? I mean, so let's say if that stuff's expensive and they change the motors, then what happens with your Rock motor now? It's a paperweight. What do you do with it?
Right.
Sell it online to somebody else?
What I think would happen, because we've had motor changes in the past, usually it's like, all right, this year is the same as last year.
But then it's cut off.
But in 23, we're going to have these different rules. So you have a whole year to be prepared for them. Okay. They did that with World Formula. So a few years ago, you were allowed... So you bought a World Formula, throw it in the cart. Or you could get it blueprinted. Do you know what blueprinted means?
I've heard the term from Gran Turismo days. Yeah, it's like a motor is blueprinted if it's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like...
So, let's take the World Formula motor. A World Formula motor is built to a certain spec. However, because so many of them are made so frequently and are just shoved, down the line and built and sent in a box and to customers, they're not all usually to the perfect spec. They're all a little bit different.
So you're saying you could buy 10 of them and all 10 are going to have a little
Could
bit
be
different?
a little bit different, correct.
Oh, interesting.
Blueprinting the motor means that you send it to an engine builder and they bring it to that perfect spec. So
Okay.
like the cylinder walls or cylinder height,
Yep.
it's all perfect to the exact, rule maximum that they can be. So that was something you were allowed to do in the past. And, I don't know how much it cost. It was a couple $100 to do that. So I think it was going into the 2019 season. You were no longer allowed to do that. You just had to take a box stock motor, how you got it, and race it, and that was it. You could not blueprint. You could not blueprint motors anymore, just to bring down the cost. I mean, that's what the 4-stroke / World Formula class is all about. It's just being low cost, kind of sort of spec
Right.
to make it easy for everybody. Right. You know what I mean? So when they announced that, they were like, all right, this year, same as last year, but next year, be prepared. You cannot have blueprint motors anymore. So if they're going to do anything with our tag class, with the 2-stroke motors, it'll probably be the same thing. I doubt Mike would give people like 3 months to be like, all right, Rotax is for everybody. That would suck. And then people have 3 months to be like, I need to sell this motor and buy a Rotax. I don't know. I can't see it working out that way. However, maybe I don't know too much about these 2-strokes still, but maybe there's a way next year where you can restrict the motors here and there. From my own observations, it seems like at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and at Canaan short courses, the X30 seems to be better than Rotax. And I say that as a Rotax driver, so it sounds really shitty. Of course, I'm making excuses for not being as fast, but that's just
what race car drivers do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just my own observation. I don't really complain about it too much because there's still plenty of guys I beat with the X30. It doesn't matter too much to me. But at Canaan Full Track, the Rotax is superior to every motor, including the Rock. Now, the Rock is usually seen as the most superior motor. It's got 36 horsepower as opposed to 30, so I've been told. And
that's huge. Wow.
Exactly. But it had nothing at the Canaan Full Track with Ricardo driving it. Mm-hmm. And he's been the fastest guy out there. He switched to a Rotax the next day to make up for it. So, I mean, if there is going to be restrictions to the motor next year, is it like, okay, certain carb restrictions or certain whatever restrictions at these 2 tracks, but then certain restrictions to the Rotax at Canaan Full Track? I don't know. I don't know what you can even do. It's going to be between, Mike and the rest of the staff to figure it out. Even if that's something that's happening next year, who knows? It's all speculation right now. So yeah, that's the only other interesting thing I have to commentate about it next year.
What about, I was just thinking of the 206 World Formula Group. Why is there so many 206? Why can't we just have 2 World Formula classes if we have to and have no 206? It just seems...
I
don't understand 206. A lot of guys love it and talk about it and rant and rave.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Here's the thing about 206 and World Formula. World Formula is basically an NHKA exclusive thing. You cannot race those motors anywhere else in the country, as far as I know. I mean, at least in the region.
I've never heard of it.
You know what I mean? I've seen like one video on YouTube from maybe 10 years ago of guys racing modified World Formulas with like full body karts.
Well, where does World Formula even come from? Where did that even?
It's Briggs and Stratton. It's the same thing as LO206. As a matter of fact, I think the World Formula motor is the same displacement. It's a 206cc motor. But
it makes more power. Why?
Yeah, it's different
exhaust,
different parts.
Mm-hmm.
Different parts internally. So the thing about World Formula is it's fun. It's 14, 15 horsepower in a 4-stroke. And obviously that's much more powerful than the 9 horsepower or so that you get out of the 206. Mm-hmm. But you can only race it here. You want to go to New Jersey, you want to go to New York, can't do it. There's nobody to race out there. Oh. That's why 206 is brilliant. And it's not only that, dude. You know how we seal the motors? Like we seal the World Formula motors? Mm-hmm. That's also something that we only do here. The 206 motor is sealed by Briggs & Stratton as soon as it leaves Briggs & Stratton. You know what I mean? The only reason World Formula motors are sealed here is because we all have an agreement and our engine builders.
Oh, that's why they have the tag on it, right?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right. So if you buy a 206 motor for only $700, by the way, it's pretty cheap.
Right.
Then you can race that thing wherever you want across the country. Yeah. And it's going to be legal and basically to the fastest spec.
But here's my thing is, though, there's such a gap between a 206 and a 2-stroke that the World Formula slots in nicely.
Yes.
I just think that's a huge difference between the 206 and the 2-stroke. It just seems like there's another
it's
niche.
Massive. It's massive, but
the 206, I watch it, I see it, I don't. It's just too slow.
It's slow, but it's fun. You have to consider that they also have an inch less of rear tire, so it kind of ends up being a little bit.
Well, 206 is what we all drove like at X1 Outdoors, pretty much, right?
It's the same power output. Yeah.
Less weight.
It's basically an outdoor rental cart, but with a proper high performance chassis. Yep. So that's the appeal, and you have to consider also that 4-stroke karting, as bigoted excuse me, as big as it is right now, it's also still a new thing for like everybody. You know what I mean? If you go back 10, 15, 20 years, there's no such thing as a 4-stroke.
Is it 206 4-stroke or no?
Yeah, 4-stroke.
It still is, okay.
Yeah. It sounds like brrr rather than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's an angry bird, one's a woodpecker or something.
Yeah.
So the reason 4-stroke racing became popular is because 2-stroke racing is expensive, and it became more expensive. So why not go into 4-stroke where you still get great racing for a lot less money? And the 206 solution has been the way to go as far as the nation is concerned. But World Formula is only here.
So have you noticed less hooligan-like drivers in the 2-stroke?
You know what I've
I've
noticed?
seen some incidents, but I got to admit, the racing looks
Here's
a
what
lot.
here's
Fair.
what I've
more gentleman-ish.
More fair in this race, yeah.
Well, here's what I've noticed in 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. In 4-stroke, the competition seems to be a little bit better. Like, I'm probably racing in the 4-stroke at World Formula. There's times I could be racing 5, 6 to 10 guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's because the 4-stroke motor is predictable and it doesn't have so much power that it can really get away from you.
Not on throttle, right.
Now,
It's more, yeah.
in 2-stroke, you can have the same like group of guys where you have guys who have no idea what they're doing to guys who are winning championships left and right. And you will find that same group in 4-stroke. However, when it comes to 2-stroke, 2-strokes are animals.
It exposes it more.
Yeah.
It exposes it more. You find
You got to be smooth.
Here's the way it works. The guys who are not great drivers and are racing a 2-stroke are really not doing well.
Right.
They're not doing well because they do not know what to do when all that power all of a sudden kicks, and they're like, and they freak out or whatever. They might come out of the throttle because they think that kick is bad and the sliding is bad, and they're like, and they try not to do it at all. You don't see that kind of stuff in 4-stroke. In 4-stroke, if you're getting on the power early or if you get a little bit of kick, well, you're not getting the kick, to be honest with you. You just getting that
only in the wet.
Yeah, you're only getting just a little bit more acceleration. So, like, the slow guys end up being really slow in 2-stroke, and the fast guys end up being pretty friggin' quick in 2-stroke. And it's seen on track where you.
So
have
what you're saying
big
is the
gaps.
racing is more spread out.
It's more spread out because of that.
Right.
Go to 4-stroke, World Formula or 206. The
It's more
racing
bunched up.
is closer.
bunched
The
up,
slow guys, they'll still be slow, but they're not as slow.
Right.
And the fast guys will still be fast, but they're faster by hundredths, maybe thousandths, rather than tenths to half a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this: what was it like racing the 2-stroke on the half track at Canaan? Because in the World Formulas, it's difficult to pass. I mean, it's not the easiest. But when you were out there, I saw like a lot of turn 1 passing, which was surprising to me. Because that looks sketchy. Watching you guys out there, it looks sketchy. The World Formulas, there's not as much there. It's more turn 2, and obviously the back straight there and stuff.
The thing about 2-stroke is that with you guys in the World Formula, especially, you gear your karts to smack the rev limiter. Mm-hmm. We don't do that in 2-stroke because if you're smacking the rev limiter in a 2-stroke, I'm to this day I'm not even really sure that I even have a rev limiter.
Right, because you would. What about the full? You mean at the full track you were not even near it?
No, because the 2-stroke power curve is different. I've been told that the Rotax makes the most power around 12,500 RPM, when the top of the RPM range is 15 grand.
Wow.
So it's a weird
So you
power
have
curve.
extra RPMs to work with.
So
like
at
an
the full
overdrive.
track, so at the full track, we basically geared the karts to stay around there. Like maybe at the full
right
track,
at 12.5 or so.
At the full track, I was probably maxing out at like 12.8, maybe 13 grand. It's different at the smaller tracks because you have to think about coming out of the slow corners, and at the smaller tracks, I could be doing like 14 grand. It's still a game that I still have to learn about.
What did you mention about the 2-strokes too? There was something about it that you were like you can bog it or something if you are on it too early. What was going on? You found
with the Rotax motor especially, you cannot give it full throttle at low RPMs. If you give it full throttle at low RPMs, it bogs and it will not accelerate. Like
Is it a fuel thing? What's going on? I mean, why?
It's basically
or is it just there like a hole in the?
You're giving it too much fuel and air, and it's like, oh, I don't know what to do, and it just kind of goes bull. It's a strange sensation, and it's only something I noticed. I mean, I noticed it in the first week, but I'd driven Rotaxes before, and I never experienced something like that. But I noticed it, especially the second to last corner, Canaan full half track, I should say. If you give it full throttle, it was like, and you'd be decelerating. It wouldn't give any power. However, if you managed it like half throttle and just kind of, it was actually accelerating.
So feed it in versus.
Yeah. Well, not even feed it, dude. You hold it at half for a good long bit until you get to like 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 RPM. Then you can floor it.
But you're never looking at your.
No, it's all it's all by ear. It's all by feel.
I was just Okay.
Yeah, you're not really looking down at your RPMs too much, but yeah, so that's very different. From what I've heard, I've never driven an X30 motor. I guess the X30 is a little bit more straightforward. You can give it full throttle, or it responds more like a car would rather than a snappy two-stroke, because that's what the Rotax is like. It's like a snap, and all of a sudden it's like pow, all of a sudden power.
Oh, wow.
So what are those guys in the two-stroke class in Europe particularly running? Are they rocks?
From what I've observed from YouTube videos with Europe stuff, you have Rotax and X30, but they split the classes. But it's because they have enough people to split the classes.
It's like the biggest class out there. That's what everyone in Europe seems to run. Yeah.
Tag tends to be the class, no matter where you go, except for like Vermont has its own club, and they have their own little track.
Really?
They run 206s and 80cc shifters.
What's that?
God.
Wow.
That's it.
That's like a Ferrari and a.
Well, I'm sorry. I think they have some other two-stroke motor, but it's not quite as powerful as the tag stuff that we run here. But usually like a 125cc two-stroke motor is the traditional class, at least today in modern times. Back in the day it was air-cooled 100cc, and I've actually driven those kind of carts before, and they're pretty fun.
How many shifters are even running this year? I feel like that class is just a waste. Sorry, no offense.
At times, maybe a dozen.
Like the racing's terrible.
A dozen to 15.
To me, it almost looks like a bunch of guys just going out there that have big balls.
Yes.
And big wallets.
Yes.
And blow their load, and it's like, oh, okay, but there's no real racing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of going out there and banging gears.
Not too much. Admittedly.
Actually, didn't they do a lot of multi-class too? Remember when they?
So there's two. I guess there are two shifter classes that run at the same time. There's Stock Moto and there's KZ2, I believe.
It's fun to watch them going around, regardless of the quality of racing.
I remember,
it's like watching Fast Forward.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I remember the last time we did the full track, it was Brad Danoff that was leading the whole race, and he came around the last corner. The last corner is right there at the front stretch. He came around that corner at a good 30, 40 degree angle sideways
It's fucking
at 80,
gnarly,
90 miles an hour. And I was just like, what? Like, I thought he was going to lose it. He didn't. He kept going. I was like,
well, there's been, I forget who it was, but there's been a few impacts there at the wall, which are pretty, it's crazy to see it happen.
Usually at the half track.
There's still a dent in the steel barrier there.
Yeah.
The Armco there or whatever.
Yeah, well, there was I think it was Rich Blanchard ended up nosing in there because of somebody else.
He was fine, though, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, that's relatively the slowest part of the track, I suppose, for them, right? Even though they're going like 60.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is insane.
The two-stroke, to me, the tags look like a nice happy medium for racing, but speed, you know what I mean?
You got to try one.
Oh, absolutely.
Both
absolutely.
of you.
Yeah, we should try, Charlie.
100%. We'll see what happens.
I hate
have to be like Rich and get two carts. Get one two-stroke, 1.4. Yeah. Side by side.
Next to the Tesla.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be
It's
nice.
funny because I did 4-strokes forever. This is only my first year doing the 2-stroke stuff, and I hate to talk down about 4-strokes at all. I think in 4-strokes the racing is phenomenal, and there's a lot of skill involved to be a winner and a champion in that league. But when you drive a 2-stroke for the first time, and that power band kicks in, you realize like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're genuinely going.
You're
fast.
Yeah, 4-stroke is kind of like almost baby shit compared to this 2-stroke shit. Like I said, I hate to say that, but like,
it's the only time I would care to. I'm not really disagreeing with you, but Canaan Full Track when I did Kartmania, you fell fast,
Yeah.
man. When you're in the draft, and you saw me, remember when I somehow got out of the draft and I almost lost it, going 70 miles an hour or whatever?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I realized at that point, wow, we're really moving.
Oh, yeah, you're moving.
We're moving.
The thing about
you know?
four-stroke is that you get to that 70 miles an hour over time.
Right.
Whereas two-stroke, we're doing 80, and we get there
Quick.
pretty friggin' quick.
Yeah.
Maybe not to 80. We're probably getting to like 75 pretty quick, and it kind of struggles.
There's
to
about
get
a
to
10
that
mile
last
an hour
82.
gap, right, on the top
Yeah.
speed there. But I mean, theoretically, as you said, you could go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Once again, not taken away
No.
from
It is
four-stroke
what it is.
racing. It's phenomenal. It's tough. It takes real balls to win.
Yeah, I don't even know if my
four-stroke
balls are
racing.
big enough to do some of the
But
stuff that you.
there is a different bit of asshole pucker and eye widening that you get with two-stroke. It's just,
Oh, really?
it's yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like there's
all
got to
by
be a lot
yourself.
more trust.
This episode of the Formula Hooligan podcast is brought to you by Newport Propane.
Wait. Now, Alex, does anyone even use propane anymore?
Do you live under a rock, Charles?
Well, I know you can grill with it.
Uh-huh.
But can you cook on the stove with it?
Yes,
Heat the house with it?
of course.
Warm up the pool?
Mhm.
Fuel my flamethrower so I can melt snow with it?
All right, slow down, Charles.
What about when the lights go
A
out?
propane generator will do you right.
Okay. So who would I talk to if I want propane in my house?
Newport Propane, of course. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years now, so I'd say they know a thing or two about propane installation and delivery. Not to mention, they'll come out and give you a free estimate on any propane systems you're thinking about adding to your home.
Sounds good to me. How do I get in touch with them?
You can call them at 401-847-6878 or visit them online at newportpropane.com. That's 401-847-6878 or newportpropane.com. Newport Propane, proudly serving the Rhode Island area for over 60 years.
Especially, dude, turn one. So many times this year, I was just watching you at Canaan go too wide through there, and it seems like so often one guy would push a guy wide, and we saw it happen several times. They'd go
yeah?
off the track there wide to the left, and they'd try to correct off the track, and the tires obviously dig into the ground or dirt at some point, and we had 2 or 3 rolls there this year.
Wow.
I know about one guy definitely that I don't know who it was, but
Everyone was okay, thankfully.
right. Everybody's been okay this year, which has
Still.
been fantastic.
Yeah.
But I remember a story about one guy that went into turn one at Canaan and somehow got the car got upset, whatever. And
Don't
I
turn
think
the wheel
He,
off
he
the
ended up
track.
launching, and then I think it was like the cart ended up on one side of the outside track, and then he ended up at the other side of the track.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
happen.
You know who? I can't think of his name right now. I was talking to him in the grid. We were talking about. I'm surprised that karting hasn't had more safety implications or mandates, like not a halo but a roll bar.
Yeah.
There was a video I think I sent around. Remember?
I saw you
Well,
sent
you
it
sent
to
me
me.
a
Yeah.
picture of a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I watched the video and it actually looks. It makes sense because I've always
It looks
never been an
safer,
advocate of
yeah.
it. But then when I watch the video, they show a cart with a dummy roll over.
Yeah.
That safety bar shows the difference because the weight and the pressure isn't on your head. I mean,
Right,
it's obviously
well,
not going to protect
so-
you from everything, but it definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the theory with safety currently in karting
There's
is
almost none.
No. The way it works now is that you're not belted in. The reason being that if you did flip, you want to get launched.
Exactly.
The helmet, your abrasion resistant suit, whatever else should save you.
Abrasion resistant. I don't know, man.
Hey, listen. I just dragged behind a cart
That's
a few weeks ago.
But I'm still using your old cart. And
fine.
that thing has a hole form when I fart, man. I don't think that would ever withstand to me being dragged at all.
I don't know. My suit did me wonders when I got dragged. I just got. A
I
little
wish
bit
I
of
saw that.
elbow road rash, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that looked pretty. How's that doing, by the way? Not
It's not,
pussing or
it's
anything?
not bad. No, it's
Oh, it's
all
healing.
right.
Look at that. Beautiful.
yeah, not bad.
There you
huh?
go.
Maybe I should tell that story. There's probably people who haven't heard it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I went
You had a
to.
big photo of it. Oh, your Halloween photo. You should have been dressed like that.
He did.
That's what I did.
He did.
Did
I
you
know.
see
I'm
that?
saying you should be like right now.
Oh no.
Should have came in full. Anyway, tell your story.
All right, so I went to. I was invited. I was invited by Mike Ruggiero to go to Club Motorsport, like a few days after our season ended, for just a practice, fun, let loose type of day, and ended up being a good time, and it was well worth the money. But there weren't many of us that did it. It was myself, and it was one of the kids. So Mike Ruggiero, he works at Club Motorsports, but he's also part of the New England Hill Climb Club. And so it was mostly the hill climb guys there that were racing on the full track. And I tried to get like all of you guys to go.
Yeah, I tried, but
but none of you could make it. And I understand it was the Monday. I think it was Columbus Day.
By the way, I'm still holding you to that rain check.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. What was I saying? So yeah, it was mostly the Hill Climb Club. They did their thing on the full track at Club Motorsports, but Mike opened up the opportunity for me to go and drive around on the kart track that's there. So it was myself, one of the kids of one of the drivers that drives on the full track, the Hill Climb courses usually, and then it was Roman. I don't remember his last name, and his son Darius that came out. So there was only 4 karts. That was it. So it was awesome.
That's pretty fun.
From 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, go out whenever you want.
That's
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
It was wonderful. And like, I probably got like 2 hours of track time. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have to, it's a lot of work to drive a 2-stroke as it is. And that little bitty track is really pretty physical. So
that's
2
cool.
hours of track, Jesus Christ, it's plenty. It's plenty. So with it being so relaxed, it's pretty common to, pull in after a run and leave the cart in pit lane, not even put it up on the stand and just go hang out, eat or collect yourself, whatever you might have to do. And that's what it was like. So I came in after one run, left the cart on the track, or on the pit lane, I should say. And then when I was ready to go back out again, I put on all my stuff and I went to go start it. So 2-strokes are all battery start. So, like I said, put all my stuff first, helmet included. And then I knelt down to start my cart, and it took off without me. And I'm like, and
Why did you start it not being in it?
I've never had a problem with that before.
Huh.
Never.
Interesting.
Really?
Nope. And the thing is like, I had no hint that was going to happen prior. Like, it's not like in the last run the throttle was sticking or anything like that. And when I brought it in, it's pretty customary with a 2-stroke to just hold down the kill switch when you're coming in. Usually to check the spark plug. I guess if... checking the spark plug has a lot to do with your carb tuning and your jetting that you're going to put in the carburetor. If you come in easy, stop, and then kill the cart, I guess you'll get a false reading on your spark plug. You'll foul the plug, and you won't really know how well you're doing as far as the carburetor jetting goes. So I pulled it in, holding down the kill switch. So I had no idea that off throttle, it was actually going to be stuck. So I started it. That next time out, it takes off. And I'm trying to grab something. I'm like, like panicking. Like, what the did you? And so I eventually, with my right hand, grab onto the rear bumper. And I'm already kneeled down, so it just pulled me down. And now I'm dragging along the asphalt on my stomach, toes out like Superman, just going down pit lane. It's only dragging me at like 10, 15 miles an hour, but still
fast.
It's still pretty quick with your face only a foot off the ground.
Thank God you have your helmet and
everything. So I'm going down pit lane, and now I'm entering the track. Here comes turn 1. And I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, I hope nobody's coming. So I look to the left. Nobody's coming. I'm like, thank God. So now I'm like, I got to get to the kill switch. And I'm trying to pull myself forward, but I can't because my whole torso is acting like an anchor on the ground. Being dragged, so I cannot pull myself forward.
Right.
Like, this
Friction.
sucks.
Yeah.
And also, the exhaust is right in front of my face, and I was thinking, like, that's going to be really hot to grab. And there was a small window of time where I was thinking, just let it go. Let it go. Save yourself. It'll crash. Whatever. At least you'll be fine. But then I was like, it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of bent parts.
That's a lot of thoughts went to your head.
There was nothing
in that moment.
It's so quick crazy how much you think about in moments like these. So I'm dragging along, still trying to pull myself forward. It's not happening. Thankfully, the cart hits the curbing inside turn 1 and kind of what's the word? It high centers on the curbing, so it kind of bottoms out. And it bottoms out. It kind of rotates to the left. It flings me with it.
Jesus.
And then it stops, and then lazily keeps going and nudges into a wall. And then I got up, and I hit the kill switch. And then I'm like...
Jesus, this is...
How did no one saw you? It's just...
That's the whole thing.
It baffles me.
Not a soul. Nobody saw it happen.
Me.
0 people saw it happen. There were 2 people on track, and there were 2 people track side. Nobody saw it happen. I guess the two people track side,
I think
we're watching the two people on track who were on the opposite side of the track the whole time.
Such a shame, because if this had happened at an NHKA event, Mike Kamara would have a field day with this. Imagine the next day. Reminding all drivers, please
sit inside your vehicle before starting it.
Alex.
As you said, at least
we're not singling anybody out, Alex.
At least you had your gear on.
That's the thing. So
Yeah,
that's what I was just arguing.
Imagine if you had a pair of shorts.
Suck. That would suck. So I had all my racing stuff on, and my torso, you can see from the suit, was all torn up, but not my actual torso. My body is fine. The only thing that got injured was my left elbow. I don't know where that. I guess.
Do you wear elbow or knee pads at all?
No.
I got Rich. I think does.
He does. Yeah. And
I feel like
I might
you
start.
should.
Yeah, I might start doing
Makes
it.
sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Only
Well,
because-
I mean, if you ever get off, or not even that, but if you get, God forbid, launched out of the cart without elbow pads or knee pads,
I mean, I
dude,
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, you really should have. Why do? I don't know. We should be wearing MotoGP gear, really.
Yeah.
Maybe
mean,
like
if you
that.
really think about it.
Yeah.
Beyond the airbags, I don't know.
Airbags.
What airbags?
Those guys, MotoGP.
Oh,
guys have
right.
airbags.
Oh, yeah.
No. But beyond that, we don't need that. Maybe the shifter cars.
Yeah, them guys doing 100 miles
They
an hour.
should.
Canaan. Yeah.
It's just funny. It's like whether you're going 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Man, gravity's a bitch. When you fall, I don't know as if it's really going to make it that big of a difference. But that's cool. At least you have a racing stripe now.
I have a great story. I left a mark on the racetrack of my torso being dragged. That'll probably be there for a little bit.
Is it like Nürburgring? They're going to charge you now probably to fix it?
No.
We're going to paint that now.
But it really is funny that nobody saw it happen. I remember
it's crazy.
I was standing up, like hands on my hips, like what the was that? And like the
gonna
guys
fill this tomorrow.
the guys that are racing around the track, they kept going. They just they went right by me like nothing was wrong. And then I remember Roman, he comes around and he stops and he's like, "What, did you crash?" And I'm like, "You didn't fucking see that, dude? What? You didn't see me Supermaning down the road?" He's like, "No." So the thing is like we got it out of the wall and then straightened it out. And I made sure to sit down in it first before I started it. And sure enough, when I started it, the throttle was sticking. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And driving it back into the pits, I actually had to put my foot under the throttle pedal to bring it up from like 10% throttle. So I bring it in. And then I think the guy's name is Seth that was watching his kid on track. He comes up to me and he's like, you disappeared for a while. Did you crash? I'm like, you didn't see that happen, dude? It was right there. No, like Ismar mentioned, nobody saw it happen.
And you didn't have your GoPro on? That would have been
Didn't have
funny.
a
Imagine
GoPro.
that on the car.
No.
That would have been
I know.
awesome. You would have heard Alex. Oh,
So many views on that.
There's no evidence of it happening except for the stripe that I left on the track. But,
That's a shame.
So I have a new rule. The new rule being that I don't start the kart unless it's on the stand in the air or I'm already sitting in it on the ground. Otherwise, I can't start. I've seen a video on Instagram of this kid starts his kart. It's cracked at like full throttle, and it just takes off and goes, hey,
smash.
Pow, and it just smacks into a wall. Can you imagine?
No, what do you... Yeah, I don't know. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm actually surprised that more of that random stuff doesn't happen because we have so many people getting ready to get on the grid.
Yeah.
Like, you get people revving them and stuff. Even on their kart stands, you got girls with long hair walking by. Can you imagine? Oh, there goes her head.
Jesus, break your neck.
Scalped.
My God.
Yeah.
That is a worry, actually,
That
for
is.
people with long hair.
I mean, I remember at X1 Indoors, they always said, put your hair up in a bun.
Yeah, put your hair in a bun or...
I don't know why, of all things, that's what I remember. But it is. It was like plastered everywhere in the basement, remember, in the locker rooms? Make sure you tuck your long hair in.
Really? I didn't see that.
It's even everywhere.
It's even on the motors. There's a little sticker on the motor that, shows a person with long hair. That
You're
with
right.
The circle with the X.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
I miss X1.
Me too.
Yeah, you had a good
like I said,
video.
it's nobody's fault, RJ Valentine.
Yeah, you.
What are we going to do?
You just not do that.
Just don't do
Ismar, how many races did you even do this year?
I just did one.
The one I wasn't
Only
there.
one?
Only one race.
No, I
Yeah.
thought you did two.
No, I only did one.
And it was a rain race.
Oh.
Right?
It was a rain day. Yeah, it was pretty rainy.
But
it
you
was-
did well, didn't you?
I did. I ended up in 5th, I think.
And it was at New Hampshire Motor
New
Speedway.
Hampshire
yeah.
Motor Speedway. Yeah, but
Oh, well, we got to change that
yes,
next
but it was my first time racing in rain, and it was.
Oh,
Really?
interesting.
Yeah, so it was
Oh,
fantastic.
That's
okay.
cool.
It was great.
I
yeah.
even had 2 rain races this
Oh,
year. I
really?
think. It was a blast.
It's
Early,
interesting.
Early on, almost every
I
weekend
had a lot
was-
of problems.
was a
I
threat.
remember I had not my visor set up, not ideal. I didn't have Rain X. I was getting fogged up and rain on the inside. So I think you even saw me when I would raise my visor on,
Mm-hmm.
on the front
You're
straight.
wild.
I'd
Yes.
raise it, close my eyes, and just like and then close it
Well,
again.
if you remember when we did the Kanan Live podcast and we had Greg on,
Yeah.
you said that, and he was like, "Oh, so you're the one.
Oh, you're that guy, huh?
Yep.
You're the one lifting your visor in the middle of the race."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite crazy actually. I noticed there's a reason for the strap. Like if I didn't have
Definitely.
that strap, the f***ing helmet would have went
Yep.
sucked right off.
Yep. Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I tend to drive like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Your
more
neck down?
comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, because if I put my neck back just a little bit, the helmet's like trying to pull my head off.
Yeah, you'll notice
You know?
that some guys have a helmet that has a little lip at the bottom.
Oh, I
Little
think
arrow,
Rich,
like an
Rich
arrow?
has that, no?
Probably.
Oh, no.
I think
Yeah.
Rich might.
Yeah, I see. I think.
Basically,
Is that legal? Is he?
Yeah,
Question.
it's legal, and
It's legal.
basically what it does is allows the air to catch that little lip to keep your helmet on. Because I do it too, dude.
Yeah.
You'll notice like maybe once, twice a lap, I take my hand off the wheel and go ooh, and move the helmet back
Yeah.
down.
It's no matter how tight you do it. It just depends on how you keep your head.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's just air getting under there. And being
Right,
like,
but what I'm saying is it doesn't seem to happen if you just tuck your chin. I mean, I don't know.
maybe I don't know. I don't try to tuck my chin much. I do need a new helmet next year. My helmet is
I
officially.
thought you just got one.
No,
It was Rich, no?
No, it was Rich.
It was
Rich,
Rich,
is
who
the
got a
one
new
getting the new helmet.
I
well,
could have
the new
sworn you
paint
got
job.
rid of your old helmet.
I was thinking about it at the beginning
Oh, that's
of the year,
right.
and
And
then
your head you found out was too big.
well, it's too weird.
Too weird.
I tried to buy. I tried
Too
to buy.
big for your ego. No.
No, not quite. I tried to buy an RI from George because that's what he was selling, and I like to support Apex and George. But unfortunately, the RI helmet shape does not fit my head shape.
Dude, get Bell.
Well,
I don't have a
that's,
Bell.
That's
and
one of
I've
the
had
one-
it. It's so comfortable.
That's one of the ones that I haven't tried yet. So yeah, I might have.
Did
to
you ever try
find
mine?
a,
You have to try it sometime.
I don't know.
How much did you pay for that, Charlie?
It's 400 maybe.
Okay.
400
Like
bucks?
400? All right.
$100.
I remember I used to take such good care of it. It looked brand new up until World Formula.
Oh,
And then it just got the shit kicked out of it. Yeah, now it's like all banged up.
all the rocks and all that
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, I need a new helmet for next year. I know HMS Motorsport, they have different helmets that they sell, and one of the helmets, I tried one of their helmets that was phenomenal. It's the most comfortable, but yes,
Carbon fiber and everything.
yet well-fitting helmet that I've ever put on my head. It was wonderful, but it was $1,800. And I was like,
Well, you know what they say. You only have
$1,800.
one head, though.
But why so expensive? 1,800?
because of how
Lightweight.
light it was,
Oh.
how comfortable it was. It came
Is that
with
what the professional
it
racers
came with audio. So if you ever wanted to
Oh,
do
the
like
radio?
mic and yeah,
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
already built
Oh.
in, all that good shit, dude.
18, huh?
It
Does
had,
it have a drink thing, too?
No, it doesn't.
I won't be surprised if
but
it
I'm
has
sure
it.
you could probably easily install
You
one.
can install it, yeah. You probably
You know,
can.
it has the vents at the top of the helmet in case you ever do car racing.
I'd want the Hans device set up, too, in case you were going to double duty it.
Well, most helmets will.
Oh, do
most
they?
car racing helmets will come with the Hans stuff.
Like, yeah, but I'm saying, like, I didn't buy a car racing one for that reason. I didn't want to pay the money. It's substantially
It
more.
is a little bit more expensive. Yeah, because they're fireproof. They have the Nomex shit.
Yeah, and I found them to be a little heavier. Unless, of course, you buy
Probably.
one that's really expensive.
Right, yeah.
That's
yeah,
carbon
this
fiber.
this thing was wonderful, dude. I was talking to Rich the other day. I was saying maybe if they still have it, maybe it's a few $100s cheaper now that it's been almost a
Maybe
year.
Black Friday.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. I got to go back up there at some point, but there's another place in Marlborough, Massachusetts that has the Bell helmets,
Oh.
which I could maybe try. I tried as best as I could with the RI helmets, but I don't know. I would get awful like pressure points in the back of my head, and then my whole forehead would be like red. So there's something about my maybe I have a long head.
You
know?
do have
I
a
bet
weird
you
head.
it's big.
Oh,
I
thank you.
bet you have a big head, like front to back.
Correct. It's what it
Yeah.
seems to be.
That's weird.
It's all how you popped out, when you
Yeah.
were born.
Yeah.
You came out like maybe you came out sideways and just kind of
Shwoop.
flatten it out this way and then push
Head
it out
first,
the
and
back.
then
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's something I have to think about for next year. Oh, especially because I don't know if you guys saw, but our 24-hour race we're going to be doing in New Orleans has now been postponed.
Oh, I heard it might have even been canceled. It's
I think-
postponed.
Well,
think-
basically it was.
Yeah, Rich was telling
Well,
me.
people
that
need to pay their
yesterday.
bills now.
Right. It's so
Yeah.
it blows my mind. There's some people put blame on TJ for being like, well, why did you make the deadline a month before the race? You know, people like to book their flights well before that and all that type of shit. And I understand where you're coming from. But the pre-registration or the registration for the race was supposed to be done in January, and it was. Anybody who wanted to be in the race had to register in January and have that registered. So everybody had 11 months to pony up the money. And now we come down to October, November, and still there's teams that cannot pony up the money? Like, holy crap.
I blame COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I
this
mean-
sounds like Coda.
Yeah.
You can kind of, in a way, you could say that because, I don't know, there's probably people who were like, well, who knows what COVID's going to do? And maybe
I
the
think
race
that's
won't
an
even happen.
excuse. When people ever say, you don't know what Coda's going to do, I always say, well, you don't know what the car's going to do when you pull out of your fucking driveway in the morning either. You might die there too. Sorry.
It's all sorts of unpredictable in real life, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope you do go through with it because it's
Yeah.
It
Well,
sounds like a lot of fun.
The idea is that it might happen next winter, springtime. It's very loose. There's no concrete date.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Jim. I was gonna potentially do it with him, but I've got a conflict anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
would be.
now that it's a different date
I think it got.
altogether.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't.
Who
I'll have to
knows?
talk to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
if he's still looking.
Well,
I
Jim,
think he was gonna race with Shay.
he was. So now Jim is not racing his own kart anymore. He's racing with a whole different team altogether, Satellite Racing. So basically, he's paying to join a team. So he doesn't probably have any like,
He's like a gentleman driver then.
yeah, more or less. He
Nice.
doesn't have any way to like invite others with him. I don't believe.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like even if you guys wanted to do it to this point, I don't even know where you would go. I think kind of all the slots have filled up. Like our Mac Minarelli team is formed. We have our 8 drivers, and that's that. And it's probably going to be that way for next spring when the race comes around, unless it's conflicting. But I don't really know. Like, there's no race that happens.
I love endurance racing.
Oh,
It's
God.
phenomenal.
I never done.
The
it,
only
but it
one I
sounds
ever
fun.
did
You've never
was-
done
I've
any
never
type?
done endurance.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
it is.
But it sounds fun. I would love to do that.
It is
Yeah.
great. I mean, like, I wish F1 was still around because you
Yeah.
could do the 90-minute enduro.
Well,
They
we used
do
to
that
do.
in
Yeah.
the
So
next one?
wait, you didn't
Yeah.
do that one?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Really?
They were.
Those were
they were
fun, but then
fantastic.
me and Alex did one at Foxwoods. It was, I think, a
Foxwoods.
6-hour. Was it 6? 9? What?
8.
8.
8 hours.
And it was awesome.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome. We gotta
Yeah,
do
it was
that.
great.
We gotta do
And
that.
was it Josh Dennis did it with us?
Yeah, Josh,
Yeah.
David, Dennis.
Yep.
Your buddy.
Who I can't remember his name right now.
Wow.
Wow, quite a friend you
I
are.
know. X1 went away, and then look at what happened. Hopefully he's not watching. Derek.
Derek.
Oh, Derek.
Yes, your buddy Derek, and then myself,
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And we didn't have the strategy down, but it was so
Well, I
fun.
couldn't believe how much strategy went into
Oh
it.
my God. It was
It was
almost cheating.
ridiculous.
Those
Almost
guys
cheating.
planned it.
Oh,
very
yeah. They
well,
had
huh?
flaggers.
Really?
Literally looking at the carts and everything, going by time, telling when to pit.
Yeah.
That's
So
teamwork.
the way it worked was there were always 4 carts in the pit lane that were ready to go for when people came in to
Right.
change drivers. When you changed a driver, the next driver didn't get into the same cart.
Which is awesome.
They
Yeah.
they
you
just
think about
got they just got into the lead cart of the 4 that was on pit lane. What teams did was they took notice of which carts were better than the others because they're
keep 'em out
rental
longer.
cars.
Yeah,
There's obviously
yeah.
going to be cars that are faster than the others. So teams would wait until the rotation came along where one of the fast carts was now in front on pit lane, and then they would wave down their driver like, come in! And they would come in so that their next driver would jump right back into a fast car.
It was
And-
really fun.
That's crazy.
I could not believe how strategic it
but
was.
what is the deal? You know what's funny? I call them every year. I should try calling them this year. They haven't done it since, and it seemed like it was a big success.
Well, COVID.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a thing now. It's open. It's open. You know what I mean? They've got people there. I mean,
Sure.
you can't. I don't think that's really it.
You think
at
they,
this point.
You think they practice before the endurance? Those teams?
I think you
Well, those
can.
guys were real. They were real good drivers. From
What-
all
what
over.
they were
There were
good.
some
What
real
really
good
surprises me is that the guys who won and a lot of the guys who ran up front were circle track racers.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Surprisingly,
guys
yeah.
who raced the circle track circuit. So
Wow. All right.
I didn't think that would really help, being that road course racing.
I think it was
and
more the
those-
strategy, but
No, these dudes were still quick. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're
they,
right.
they were able to jump into the fast car every time.
but it's
like,
their home
they were
track
still-
too. Which, by the way, I'm only 30 minutes from Foxwoods. It would be such a fun.
We should do some race there.
I am
yeah.
only 30 minutes. Yeah,
Wow.
Really?
I've done it in 26. Yeah,
Holy shit! No shit.
yeah, it's close. I don't know. We should check. Maybe they got it going on. You know when they did it last time was around New Year's. It was either the week before or the week after, and they did it because it was like dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one's there then. And that was the sick part. We got to stay at Foxwoods and gamble and drink.
That was
Patriots
cool.
were in the playoffs. It was actually when the Patriots were eliminated. It was Tom Brady's last game. as a
Really?
Patriot.
I remember I went to
I'm
bed.
now remembering this.
I
More.
went to
Yeah,
bed
you went
like
to bed
10 minutes too
and,
early.
I started texting you. I was like, Alex, there's naked girls dancing on tables, and the Patriots are playing. What are you doing?
Wait, really?
Yes.
Naked girl?
Well, the naked girls came out because
Not quite.
Not quite, but like
scantily clad.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean,
Still,
still, yeah.
yeah.
You would approve.
I would have.
Evidently, when I left, right, because I was
Yeah.
exhausted, I was falling asleep at the table. I go back to bed. Then the next morning, you and Derek tell me about dude, 10 minutes later, our waitress stripped down to almost nothing and started dancing on the table, and so did a bunch of other girls. They brought out this show, and I was
Yeah.
like,
And
What?
we were right there. Remember, we were just sitting at a random spot.
yeah, we
And
weren't
didn't-
sitting at any special table.
That turned out to be the runway where all the girls were walking by. Literally.
God damn it, Alex.
I know.
Oh
gotta
my
be
god!
such a
Priorities,
perfect
man.
I know.
Ah, you were so distracted.
I didn't know
the
it was
Patriots
coming.
lost.
There was no hint of what was coming either.
It's Foxwoods.
All right, I go to Foxwoods maybe
I know.
once every
That was my
2-3
second time,
years.
yeah.
Oh, now we know next.
No, I'll do it. I'll do a check. We got to check into that, and then we got to go to R1.
R1
I
Lincoln.
mean,
yeah.
we joined the high speed club, and I've used it once.
Yeah, I found out that you do have to renew your high speed.
That.
Oh,
once a
you
year.
do?
Ah.
Dude, it's not a
It's
lot.
$100, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. But if you go,
Well, we
often
never
enough-
went last time. I know.
But you still, if you go often enough, it's still the half off races when you pay that
Right.
money.
No, I
And
mean,
then
it's
if
a
you
good
go
deal.
often enough, it pays for itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for once though, this year I had a good excuse. I was doing real racing, not the.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out my back situation. Anyway, honestly, I don't
how do
even
you
know
feel
if I
right
can.
now?
Terrible.
Really?
I had an MRI and I can't pronounce what I have. They were like, they told me they can't do anything for it. They
I
offered.
mean, someone's got to crack your back or something.
Dude, I know. I got a pillow right behind me right now.
Yeah?
I mean, I'm gonna get shots. That's what I'm gonna try.
Oh, the cortisone shot?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they actually did tell me. They said you're not in danger of doing anything. He said it's gonna hurt like hell. So it's not like he said don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't tell him I was karting.
Yeah, I was
said,
just going to. Yeah, okay.
I said bike riding because
Well,
I did that too.
Honestly, you have. You've
Oh,
been doing
mountain
the
biking was actually worse.
Yeah.
I fell off my mountain bike so many times, and it was way more aggressive
Yeah.
than karting. Yeah, and I know there's a lot of guys that kart and mountain bikes, so they know what I'm talking about. It's legit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It has to be.
There's some trails around here where I know you bought a mountain bike. We never even got to do it.
No.
You bought a road bike instead. Safer bet.
Maybe.
Safer until you get hit by a car. But
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think you have to
that's-
worry about
that's
that
what you
around
have to
here.
deal with the road biking.
Around
Yeah.
here, you're good. Matter of fact, you know what I want is a Vespa. I want something like that. I want to.
Scooter?
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
want a
want
scooter? Yeah?
You know,
Electric scooter?
Play
or-
like real life Grand Theft Auto. So you
yeah.
can go down East Greenwich and scooters or Newport. You know.
Oh,
I
that's
just
funny.
yeah, it seems like it'd be fun. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's a shop right down here, Adrenaline Rush Motorsports.
Yeah, I know. At
They
the
sell
bottom,
some.
Oh, yeah.
bottom
They
of your
always
hill.
have so many of them. Like,
How much are they?
I don't know.
What's a scooter got to be, like $2-3 grand?
I bet they're
New?
more.
Really?
Maybe, I don't
For
know.
scooters?
Still though, go kart, Vespa. So that's the way I'm gonna look at it. You know?
Well, Charlie, you know where I stand. I think you should buy the
Yeah.
go-kart.
Well, I'm actually happy I didn't because times have been tough here. Okay,
That's-
cost of living has been through the roof.
Sure.
Rent's gone up
But
600%.
now you just said somebody's moving
Actually,
in with you,
exactly.
cutting your rent in half.
You got a new roommate coming.
I know.
So
Yeah.
no excuses.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
yeah.
We get to
probably
keep
gonna
the
be-
man cave. And,
There you go.
There's probably going to
as
be.
long as I keep a sliver of the garage, we're good.
That's right. There's probably going to be plenty of carts that go on sale during the winter because there's some people that are
The
getting
best
out
one
of it.
already came around.
Rich has 2 carts.
I know.
Just-
Actually, yeah, we were talking about
you know?
that.
Yeah, that's
I'll probably
true.
try his out.
You should rent it, yeah.
I remember years ago we talked about it a while ago when that car.
Well,
was
dude, I've
sitting
been
there.
trying to get you to buy a cart for like
I
3
know.
years.
Well, because it's a I don't want it to be a paperweight. You know, I want to be able to use it.
Wouldn't. We would help you. We would make.
Oh, I know you would help me. You helped me for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And what did I get you? Nothing. I didn't even.
I
have
don't
to give you
expect anything back from it, dude.
I think I gave you a high five.
The
Buy him a
reward,
beer or something. I don't know.
the reward for me is to see you do well on track.
Exactly. See?
I mean, I was impressed with your knowledge and wisdom.
See,
Yeah, and I've only owned my own car for like 5-6 years. So
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. But that's the type of knowledge, that's the type of mistakes that I've made in those 5 or 6 years to know.
Oh yeah,
that, like,
and the thing is, it's like once you've done it once and you remember, that's it.
yeah.
So like each time something
Sticks with
happens, then it's like
Yep.
I mean, I think it stuck with me. I don't know.
You just
I start taking it apart.
You just gotta understand.
And then I enter turn 1. I'm like, where are the brakes? It's all right.
You'll be fine.
You don't need the brakes.
Oh yeah, you don't.
Just little jabs.
But we
here
never
and there.
did even touch on Coda. We were supposed to go to.
Oh, that's
Circuit
right.
of the
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go.
Didn't
Another
happen,
year, huh?
man.
Yep. We've missed 2 races. The Hooligan team has missed
it gonna
2 Formula 1 races. No, I mean, it's not going to be a third for me.
I hope not.
I've already.
No, it's not
You and
gonna
I
happen.
already have a handshake agreement.
At Miami, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, Montreal is going to happen next year.
I hope so.
I don't know.
What? How?
Because
It's already open. The country's open, isn't it?
No,
it's all
really.
up to whatever COVID is doing. It's all.
Ah.
I know
my-
it sucks to hear that, but like, we're just
gotta
getting
just
into
learn to
winter
live with
now. I don't know. Who knows?
Fuck it then. We're going to Miami, baby.
yeah.
I'm hesitant on Miami. to be
I would
honest
do
with you.
general admission to Miami.
I never been to Miami,
It's so expensive. I would do general admission.
Oh, really?
Admission.
And yeah, so here's the thing. Miami's fun enough, and they would make it in the winter. I would go to it just for that.
Okay.
Just to go. But no, Montreal is the most fun. I'll be honest with you. I'm not even a Coda fan. Like, I didn't.
No, you're not.
I only wanted to go because we couldn't go to Montreal. And
You
it
were
was
too
new and
desperate.
different.
Yeah.
But once you looked at it, the track wasn't even near Austin. Like, the
Yeah.
whole
Was it like a-
situation.
Was it
It's like a-
45-minute?
Yeah, it's like a
45 to
45
an
minute
hour, I heard,
drive.
with traffic.
Just because of traffic. Yeah.
And remember when we were looking way back, you couldn't find a Airbnb. You had to almost. We were going to look at like a
So,
Hampton Inn or
dude,
something.
if we went,
I don't know.
if we went to Texas and actually went through with it, I'm gonna guess it was gonna be like $2,000 per guy.
Right. Yeah,
for the whole
I mean,
trip.
we lost a little money, but we ended up not losing as
Saving.
much as we
Yeah.
would have. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Montreal is a good trip. I think
Montreal is phenomenal.
it is phenomenal.
You can drive there from here. Mm-hmm. It's only
Be optimistic. It's happening.
And dude, we stay 4 nights, 5 days if you count the day that we get there, and each guy maybe spends $1,000 to $1,200.
That's perfect.
What's the exchange rate now,
wonderful.
though? I wonder.
That is
And
perfect.
well, the exchange rate works in your favor.
Right.
It's always like
Yeah.
the U.S. dollar is worth more than the Canadian dollar.
So when you go to the strip club, Ismar, don't give them American dollars.
right, don't do it.
Oh, really?
No, throw them
Aw, damn
quarters.
it. But it's worth a lot.
Flip a quarter. Hey, whoop.
The
Which,
American.
by the way, we might have to hold. I feel like every time we've gone, we're always like, we're gonna go to a strip club, and then we're always like, F1 cars.
No, I think we've been, well, I've been like 5 or 6 times now, so I think it's at a point where it's like Montreal evidently has like the best strip clubs in the world. Let's go check them
Hey,
out.
listen,
I guess.
all I ask for, because since I've been going for 3 years now or whatever, I ask that we go to see the block party stuff. We never make
Yeah,
it 'cause we
that's true.
stick
That's
around
true.
the track.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to see it
Yep.
because remember we always go there and they're wrapping it up and they have like race cars on the street.
Oh, really?
They have
Yeah.
musicians.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get there and it's like the
Yeah.
last song of the night, and no, we should do that next time. And like
Yeah.
the reason is because we stay at the track too long on Friday. and-
There's no need for it, really.
No, I mean you're only watching practices and maybe qualifying if you care about the Ferrari Challenge or the
We've
Porsche.
been there enough too. If it was your first time, fine.
Sure.
But
Sure,
we've all
yeah.
done it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I want to go so bad. Montreal's such a cool city too.
I love it.
I love it there too. Yeah. I
mean,
think it's gonna happen. I think.
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I
my
think so
hopes.
too.
too. I know Alex is not.
Well, as you know, the guy who usually buys the tickets and plans the trip, and I've failed once now with Texas and Canada got canceled. It's like
Well, I think
I
what
don't
we're
know
gonna
if
have
I
to
even
do-
want to try.
No. What we should do is we might not have good seats first time back or whatever, but I think we should just
Wow.
wait. Let's just wait and make sure it's really gonna happen. We can really go.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I got family up there, so they will give me an update how it's going. in
Or
Canada,
hello, buy them the week of. Look at some asshole got a good deal on Coda tickets.
That is true. So like
I think Rich mentioned it or somebody. Maybe it was you.
I even joked about it too. So I sold, like Charlie mentioned, we sold our tickets for Coda. I had to sell the tickets. I couldn't refund them. We sold our tickets for like $300 cheaper than what we bought them for each, which sucks. But it means that somebody there got to buy, our $700 tickets for $490 or $450, whatever it was. So we could maybe repeat the same thing, but it's a gamble.
It is a gamble.
You know it's a gamble, but you don't understand. Here's why I think it'd be worth it. Because of the situation that you're talking about, that we're in, this global situation. So it might be a year that it's worth doing that, though, is my point.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just a long time.
By the way, though, we also escaped a bullet down there. I heard from Elias and other people that it was just chaos. Because think about it, not only about COVID, but the lack of workers. It was just,
really?
There wasn't any rooms available.
Oh.
Excuse me. There was, it was just a mess. Flights were $800 round trip. Everything was just jacked up sky high.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been like $4,000 trip.
Maybe.
I'm exaggerating a little. Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. It would have been expensive.
I don't know.
Because you got to remember, a lot of people in the U.S., that is the track they go to. It's not Montreal.
Right.
It's Montreal for us, but that's unique.
Correct.
And that's what I love about it. It's such a cool, fun drive.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last 30 minutes of this podcast, no one gives a shit. But this is for us.
Yeah.
It's just our own experience with.
I mean, if you haven't gone to Montreal, that's what got me into Formula One.
Yeah.
I literally, don't you remember the first time I went? I didn't know a fucking thing, remember?
No.
I
Really?
was racing,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know anything. I was like, who's that?
Yeah.
What's that,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I didn't
So
know.
wait, what year did you win? 26? No. 17?
First year. I skipped a year.
You did. So 16 maybe.
Maybe 17. 17,
you went in 2017.
Oh, 17?
And then you came again in 2019?
Oh, okay.
Or 18.
Maybe I've only been twice then.
I think you've only been twice.
Wow.
I only went
Yeah.
once. 2019. That was the last
The
time.
one we got
been,
on.
Yeah.
I guess I'm counting it, but we didn't.
I think I've been 5. So I've been 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 5 times for me.
I'll get the senior citizen discount next time we go. Yeah.
All right, so I think we may have to cut this. It is only 5 of 6.
Already?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's fine.
It's been dark
That's
for
fine.
4 hours.
I
I don't know why I'm yelling now. It's weird. I think the coffee's kicking in.
Oh, you drink coffee?
Well, I had coffee,
Was that a
booze,
nice coffee?
booze. Yeah, you know what? We should be. Did we even mention your sponsors? I feel like you just kind of jumped right into the formula. Did we
Newport
even?
Propane.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Continuing to support the podcast for 2020 and hopefully for the run.
All right, cool. Well, I'm Charlie.
And I'm
I'm Alex
There you go.
Gomes.
That's
You
Alex
are
Gomes. I'm Ismar Hernandez.
Our special
Thanks for
guest for
joining
today.
us.
Yes,
Thanks for having
joining
me.
us. And we will see you for the next one. Hopefully it's not a month to the next episode.
No, I think. Well, you were sick or something, so we didn't want you until
I
you
was
got
sick.
checked out.
You were busy.
Yeah, life.
Yeah.
Life
Life,
happens.
exactly.
So
We get paid a lot of money to do this, so episode 12 will be next.
not
Yes.
quite. All right, everybody. Take it easy. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next episode.
Adios.
Ciao.
Mahalo.